Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? It's another State of Economics 101, the good, the bad, the ugly, about investing in and money of all things. Yo, what is going on? Hope all of you awesome people out there are having a great day. It is Wednesday, hump day. Yeah. So hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. Without any further ado, I know I'm a little bit late. Birds are being like crazy in there, and they are like consistently knocking over their water right now, and it's kind of getting annoying. Like I just had to pick it up, and like now they got wet wood chips again. Urgh. I know. First world problems. It is what it is. So, yeah, it seems like they might be outgrowing their area a little bit here, and they're kind of getting a little rambunctious, let's just say. So, I'm going to wean them off of their supplementary heat, because it doesn't seem like they are getting underneath it too much anymore. They're more jumping on it and pooping on it now more than anything else. I know, funny stuff. First world problems. So let's go ahead and just dive right on into the charts, fellas. So here we got my favorite little go-to for a good tool to give you some data. It's not going to tell you what to do. It's just data. But what you make of that data will directly affect, how effective of a trader you are, or a person that is DCAing. You ain't got to worry about any of this stuff, because it doesn't matter. It's payday. You're going to buy $10 of that Pizzity Bitcoin or something, whatever your DCA is, $10, $50, $100 out of every paycheck, whatever is left at the end of the month. You do that. Whatever is your program, don't stray from it. Make a plan, stick to the plan. You will average out over time. You will do actually very well. So going into this, the S&P 500 is down a little bit. The NASDAQ 100 is down. The dollar index is weakening. Why is the dollar index weakening? Because interest rates are going up. High interest rates cause for a kind of like a little bit of a weakening in the dollar strength. At least that's how it seems to proceed. So it'll initially drop down, and it's in percentage wise, and then it's just kind of plateaus right. It's going to do that anyway, but it's pretty much because of what the Federal Reserve just raised the Fed fund rate by 25 basis points, and we're seeing a direct correlation with the U.S. dollar strength. It has taken a pullback right along with other assets. Basically, it's harder to get the dollars now, and companies that are looking at getting loans or getting more liquidity put back into them are also having issues trying to find rates that are reasonable to them, for them to be able to do business the way they do it. So you have the slowdown of credit creation right across the board. As soon as the Federal Reserve dropped the Fed fund rate by just 25 basis points, 0.25% it raised. So for the first time since like 2007, we are above 5% interest. I know some people have never seen interest rates high in their lifetime here. That just makes me feel old when I say that. And I don't even think this is high, because whenever I was younger back in the 80s, I was able, they had Paul Volcker, and he raised them interest rates really high to get inflation back under control. And we're already watching banks implode, guys. This is epic. Absolutely epic. How are stocks doing overall? AMD's taking a little over a 9% pullback. Apple is down almost 0.75 points. Amazon's up Tesla has finally found a floor. They've stopped bleeding. Netflix, with their Go Woke, Go Broke, has found a floor. And Meta is pulling back because credit creation, people aren't going to be sitting there and spending so much on advertisement, because where's the first place that a company is going to cut budget? Advertising. That's the most logical spot to start before you start looking at your manpower, cutting down manpower to see if you can save some money to be able to afford to keep doing business. So we will certainly see how this all plays out for Meta. They're doing good overall. I mean, look at that. They're still trading above $230 per share. They can't cry too much. It's just that people who bought yesterday are losing money today. That's all that means. Nothing fundamentally has changed with Facebook. Crypto market, we're up almost 1.5% up. Bitcoin does good whenever markets are doing bad. So Bitcoin is up 1.5% on the day. We are trading at $29,000 Bitcoin. Ethereum is at 19,000 or 1,900. Bitcoin dominance is raising. Ethereum dominance from where it was is raising. And of course, Tether dominance should be dropping because everybody wants to pile back into Bitcoin. They're like, game on, drop on in, guys. Yo. So, what up, Nick V? What up, Rude? I see people finally. There are people in the Chizity chat. Yo, don't forget to smash that Lizzity like button, fellas. Yo. Don't worry, I have no problem talking to myself. I'm a YouTuber. I'm talking to a camera, so I mean, there's nobody really like right in front of me. Forex, it's just kind of letting you know where the market is doing. Everything is kind of doing sideways pretty badly. Japan's no longer having their crazy rally in their futures markets. So they're not doing, the Forex market. So this is just the convertibility between currencies. Then you got your futures markets here. Gold dominance is going up. We got 1.1% up for the futures market. Again, gold and Bitcoin are going to perform good in what the market we're seeing right now. Gold being over $2,000 per ounce. So if anybody bought any kind of gold at any point in time in the last 5 years, you're pretty much up. Silver, if you bought any time in the last few years, your position's up. Not by a whole lot. Silver has had the smallest amount of movement out of all the precious metals. Crude futures are down. Natural gas is down. That corn up a little bit because we got them converting into E85 and stuff like that. So ethanol fuels will drive a little demand in corn. And that Bitcoin futures is up almost 3%. That's not bad. Bonds, the 10-year Treasury bond, not doing so good on yields from the U.S., less than a full percent. Basically, you're talking about getting 70 points on your investment. That ain't nothing. The 10-year euro, you're losing money. Germany, 10-year, you're losing money. Japan, not yielding as much. They got up to like 11% yield. You don't want to see that necessarily either. That usually means for a bad correction. But Japan has been doing market control for the last 30 some odd years. Yo, what up, Automatic Boots? And the reason that Japan's been on yield control for as long as they have been is that the U.S. stalled out on making a payment that we owed Japan for an extra week. And that basically caused Japan to default on one of their loans and crash the Japanese market. Don't worry, Japan was only being a competitive market to the United States, and we couldn't have that. So we basically crushed the market back in the 80s, and they've been on yield control and monetary control ever since. Not like the credit system like China, but basically Japan owns 80% of all property. So property is owned by Japan directly because they had to take control of the land in order to refinance the loan. So now Japan's economy is like a little zombie economy that functions barely. So there, I mean, that's just kind of like if people are like, oh, look at what Japan's doing. It's like, no, Japan's not doing good. They're just surviving. UK is basically 75 basis points yield on your 10-year treasury. So, you're adding in a little bit onto what it's yielding. Not the best thing that you wanna see, but UK has also gone back into quantitative easing. So it'll keep the 10-year bond up because they've got more dollar creations. They're creating more pounds, their unit of account. India has been sliding back, but India has been doing a lot of money creation too for a while. Their yields are a little high for where their market is. They are due for a big correction. So this is some of the reasons why I try to stay away from the bonds, because it's like you can make money with it, but it's not. You got to know how to play the market, and know the macros behind every country. So that's why I tell a lot of people I only look at this as a gauge of where each one of these governments are sitting publicly compared to other countries. That's all I look at this stuff for. Otherwise, I come up over here and it looks like we are playing out an Elliott wave, guys. So as you see right here at the dragon's tail, basically it popped up, came down, popped back up, would come down, and it's going to sit there and just kind of trade out sideways a little bit. And then everything is going to severely tighten up on the moving averages. This is a very bullish setup. Unless there's some kind of like catastrophic news that comes out very soon, I think we're seeing the potential of this playing out to the upside, and we should find potentially a new floor above $30,000 per Bitcoin, because we are doing a really nice stair step action coming up, popping up, and then trading out sideways for a little bit. You can just tell that, it's like I've been kind of looking at this because of the fact that it wasn't setting up for a head and shoulders, which would mean a drop. You take the height of the head, you put it next to the last shoulder, and that's the movement that it's going to make going to the downward side. And not always, but a lot of times it follows that pattern, right? What we're seeing here, the shoulder line dipped down below to complete the shoulder line. It dipped too far and then snapped back up. As soon as it snapped up, it looked like a dead cat bounce. Now, and then I was saying, either this is a dead cat bounce where it would roll over one more time, or this was basically a wave action. And wave actions usually tighten up and pop to the upside. Usually. Not every time. Not financial advice at all. All that good stuff. So we're definitely, I think we're definitely looking at sitting here and potentially putting in a a good ground floor. If I had to take a guess, because we put in a higher low and a lower high. So we're now tightening that band up. And this is on the daily, guys. On the daily. I mean, it did print out yesterday a sell signal, but it did make a drop. But now we have a spinning top today. If it finishes off like this shows market indecision, that basically there was an equal amount of buyers and sellers in the market. And for very little sum gain, right? And then you look for a couple of days of that happening to sit there and confirm the trend that we're trading out sideways. We could still sit there and oscillate a little bit more. It just kind of depends on what goes on with the full market sentiment for not only in crypto side of it, but also in the traditional market. Because like if you sit there and you look at the traditional market, this is the stuff that affects the traditional market here, which is going to be the Federal Reserve raising the Fed fund rates to over 5% for the first time since 2007. This is huge. So a 25 basis point hike. So we're now at 5.25% for the first time. And in my opinion, we're still far too low. Far, far, far too low still for this to even break the inflation. You see, now we're starting to see banks break. Why? Because they basically let everybody refinance their homes at low interest rates. So with everybody sitting at lower interest rates, and there for each one of these banks to sit there and renegotiate a loan or grab a new loan, their interest rates are higher than what most people are paying for the interest on their house for the loan to begin with, because the loans that you might have done to refinance your house was done when the banks were able to borrow money at near 0%. They usually are about 3 to 4% higher than the percentage that they give you. So if they're paying 5%, they're going to give it to you around between 8 and 9%, depending on where you negotiate your loan at. So that, and we're going to be seeing that having more of a bigger impact the more they try, that Federal Reserve keeps on raising the rates. We're going to see more banks have more failures. And what? They're going to transfer everybody over to the CBDC coin now? Come on, please. There's no way that anybody's going to have any kind of confidence in a digital version of the money that the banks were supposed to be holding. You lose the confidence of the banks, you lose the confidence of the currency at this point. Because people look at the banks and they think that the government is supposed to be fully regulating these banks and making sure that no funny business and no garbage is going on in the background that would put their money at risk. So you lose the banks, you lose the people. The people will not transfer over to a digital currency. I'm just telling you guys. I don't think that the CBDC is going to be for retail environment. And we'll get into that. There's been some analysis on this. And we'll definitely get into that. So the federal Jerome Powell said that it will be prepared to do more if economic activity calls for it. So basically, if all the businesses just keep on doing its thing, they're gonna be like, oh, whatever, a bank failed. But First Republic just failed. Silicon Valley Bank had failed. There are many banks out there that are on the brink of failure. We're going to be seeing more of that. Even by me. There's been Chase branches that have closed down because it's just not feasible to continue to run those branches. Consolidate everybody into smaller areas to be able to do banking and all that good stuff. I know. Grab the popcorn and buy Bitcoin. Grab your popcorn and watch the financial system burn. I mean, that's basically what we're watching, dude. Is the slow burning of the U.S. economy, and either they know what's happening and they're just trying to kick the can down the road and they can't do it anymore, or they're just incompetent of being able to do what they're doing, and they're lying to the people. Either way, they know what's going on here. Credit Suisse fail for Europe is big event. Yep, 100%. We are seeing the controlled the slow demolition of the economy altogether. Most wild thing to witness in my lifetime, to watch every economy like do a slow burn all at the same time. And it's not like China's doing all that good either. That's why China is willing to go after Taiwan. They're like, we're going to go ahead and take this back. And I'm not sure how the U.S. is going to be able to defend Taiwan, really. I mean, like what? We're going to fight Russia and China at the same time? Please. There is nobody in their right mind that would be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's start up World War III with this. We can't afford it, let alone having the fuel to be able to sustain that. We don't, it's like during economic meltdowns, that's usually where you have the biggest global tensions between nation states. So hopefully these nation states can keep the sanity together long enough to figure out how to get past this economic turmoil that they created without trying to fight each other. That's just me, because it's gonna cost the people, not them. They're playing chess with other people. Period. But in this macro event, with a 25 basis point price hike, when it came down to Bitcoin, it found a $27,000 floor and started bouncing back up. They were like, oh, this is going to be good for Bitcoin. So like I've been saying, people, we don't have to really worry too much. Bitcoin is going to continue this pattern out, I think, here. And we should follow this new waveform here. I love it, watching waveforms. Get that little Chinese dragon going, and it usually comes with a stair step up on the other end. What it's doing is it's like getting the cells off the books and flipping the market the other way. This is like a perfect indecision in the market, guys. So if you guys are traders, this might be the event for you guys. Hold on to your hats. We may rocket off. I hope it's not a quick rocket. I'd be very happy with a slow, nice and steady, but the Bitcoin hash rate has been going up, and that's usually a mega bullish sign for that sweet busy Bitcoin. And remember, the halvening is coming up soon, fellas, where we will go from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.1 or 3 1/8, right? Yeah, 3 1/8 Bitcoin. I don't know the decimal point on there. So I think we're going to start watching some of that get priced in here soon. With all the economic turmoil that's going on, this is going to be very, very bullish for Bitcoin in general, guys. So, yeah. And of course, we love to look at my U.S. debt clock here. Yo. So we are steadily still making everybody poor slightly every day. The government is broke. They will be voting in for more money here soon. They won't make it until the end of the year without raising the debt ceiling, guys. They spent the money that they should have had here in the United States to run the government in Ukraine. So sorry, fellas, they're going to have to print a few more trillion. I mean, what's a few trillion amongst friends, right? I mean, just saying. Amongst friends, what's a couple of trillion? It's like, and they're adding this debt on faster than they can take in tax revenue. Remember, you got to pay your slave tax for every single thing that you purchase, plus whenever you earn the money. So you're getting double taxed. Let that sink in. You pay for goods with money you earned that has been taxed. And then that business pays taxes for the money that they earned and while paying the taxes on the money they were bringing in. I mean, think about the amount of money that the government is raking in every day because of the whole taxation scheme. This is a scam at that point, depending on where you're at, you could be 7-8% state tax, depending on what kind of purchase you're doing. Depending on what state and what kind of purchase will depend on the state on tax. But here in Crookenoise, we get a 7% tax, and you can minimally guarantee that you're going to get hit with a 17% tax. You're going to minimally get hit up earning. Every paycheck, you get nailed with a 17% tax. Right? So add on another 7%, next thing you know, you're at 25% taxation. And you're just trying to live life. And they've already taken 25% from you out of every paycheck. And they go, oh, no, we've only got the one tax. It's like, yeah, but then you're taxing everything that I purchased with that money you've already taxed from me. Like, I'm being punished because I'm trying to buy something. I know it. Like I said, it's a scam. Taxation's theft. So, I mean, every person is paying thousands of dollars per year in taxes, and then they give you a little trickle back. They're like, oh, yeah, well, we slightly overcharged you just by a little bit. Oh, you gave you have new taxpayers in the house. We're going to give you a little credit because those kids we're going to be leveraging for our credit. I mean, that's basically how it rolls down. I mean, that's why they can sit there and say debt per citizen, not per taxpayer, per citizen is at about $100,000 per taxpayer, because not all citizens can work, AE child labor laws. It means that the debt per working parent or working person is $247,000 per year. And if you were to still pay, if everybody were to pay that, the government would still need more money because they can't run a budget. The government is far bigger than what it actually needs with so much bureaucratic garbage in there. You don't need to have a committee for $50 million. It's like, you want to pay them $50 million, pay me $100,000, and I'll do the job for them. And probably eliminate a few other committees in the process. It's like it's just wild how never at one point in time the government goes, this is our taxes, all the taxes we were able to get in this year. What don't we need? We need to cut the budget. And bam. You know what I'm saying, guys? You know what I'm saying? It is the most mind-blowing thing. And now they're wanting to bring in, the CBDC. And if you guys haven't checked this out at all, retail CBDCs bring in unknown consequences to the financial system, the IMF director. So the International Money Fund Managing Director, Christila, I'm not going to say the last name, says that the wholesale CBDCs, on the other hand, have fairly little space for undesirable surprises. A myriad of unforeseeable consequences could be brought by retail central bank digital currencies. The managing director claims. Erred on the side of caution. Retail CBDCs, the way that she was looking at it as, they think that the wholesale CBDCs would put a fairly little undesirable surprises, whereas retail CBDCs can transform the financial systems in ways that they don't know what the consequences can bring. In other words, I was trying to gather my thought on that one. So basically, from bank to bank is what they're talking about with the wholesale. From bank to bank, this would make the processes between the banks of liquidity easier and with less friction. For the side of me and you utilizing CBDCs, there are higher risks with retail aspect of exploits and stuff like that you would not normally see when it's directly only bank to bank intermediary. So if it's only clearing through the banks and nobody else can use it, it makes sense. For the general population, it makes no sense to be going down the route of using CBDCs. And on top of that, I don't think that many politicians want to know where all their money's coming and going, because that would put it onto a public ledger. And you know damn well that none of these people are going to want to have anybody knowing what they're spending their money on. They don't want their wives. The wives don't want the husbands knowing. The husbands don't want the wives to know. And they don't want to know, oh, you got a donation here. They did this for... Yeah. There would be too much of a money trail. And there is no government that's going to sit there and release a money trail on themselves. So I think, for the most part, the CBDCs will be from bank to bank. This way that they can control the security of it. Centralization on that, who cares? Because it's not for the people. You're already using a centralized structure. It is what it is right at that point, right? But this, this is like a solution for the banks to be able to provide liquidity. I'm not sure if this is going to be a good route, especially since it's vaporware. It's just code. Wholesale CBDCs are similarly central bank issued, but are designed to allow financial institutions to carry reserve deposits with a central bank. So collaborating with 50 countries to ensure best practices are adopted, like they've been doing all this whole time. They've only had best practices. They expect to have huge influences on the banks and the economics in the future. In other words, they're going to basically be injecting money at will into the banking system, and the banking system's just going to be like, oh, we got a deposit. We can continue doing business today. How much money did we get today, boss? We don't even add that anymore. It's been too long. The number's so big. I mean, where's the endless money printing? Money printing has consequences, and they know this. So I don't understand how they're going to be able to do the CBDCs, which would be money creation, in order for these banks to have reserves. That one's a riddle right there. That is a complete riddle. But onto crypto side of things, before I wrap everything up here, we have the shutdown of Bittrex in the U.S. So unfortunately, if you guys had anything on Bittrex, they are done. So they got a Wells notice. Basically, it's a cease and desist operation. They were offering stuff that people in the U.S. are not credited investors, and you're not allowed to have leverage trading or anything like that offered to retail investors. So they definitely got in a little bit of hot water over that, having the Wells notice slapped down on them by the SEC. They have to sit there and comply if they want to do business like that in the United States. If you want on ramps and off ramps with cash, if you don't want on ramps and off ramps with cash, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Don't offer that. You ain't got to worry about regulation. You're there's like plenty of exchanges out there that are like that do not take any cash whatsoever. So the Bittrex CEO echoed many of the U.S. complaints. U.S.-based crypto companies have lobbied the SEC in regards to its position on enforcement actions, hinting the come in and talk to us approach, often espoused by Gary Gensler, doesn't hold water. Upon receiving a similar Wells notice from the SEC in March, Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal said that the firm had met with financial regulator more than 30 times over 9 months, but largely did not receive any feedback. So, I mean, yeah, I think that at this point there is, when it comes down to the exchange side of it, they are just getting slapped with the fines that they should have been slapped with a long time ago. So they shouldn't be offering shit coins to the general public, scams. They are, doing the like the Coinbase Earn. That's not legal in the in the investment world. You can sit there and have sign-on bonuses. That's fine, but you can't just willy-nilly just like offer stuff to the public to be able to buy without being a fully accredited investor on an early startup project. It's like they've got to meet the criteria to be listed, just like they would on the New York Stock Exchange. And they're all going to get slapped with all of these. Every one of these exchanges are going to get a Wells notice. What up, Network Boots? What's up, my dude? But yeah, I mean, we need to sit there and be careful of what exchanges you're putting your Bitcoin onto or your crypto onto. That's why we always tell you, don't hold your stuff on the exchanges. Exchanges blow up, just like the banks do now. Yo. So, I mean, we're going to see this happen to all the exchanges here in the United States. I think Gary Gensler is going after all of it. Every one of them. And it's about time. The exchanges have been crying about no regulation and no lack of clarity. They're about to get it. And you can thank Sam Bankman-Fried with FTX on that one. On top of FTX, looks like it's going to relaunch. Say it ain't so, please. Please don't let that crappy product relaunch. Let FTX just die off. They recovered $7.5 billion. Pay everybody back and tell them to have a good day. And it's kind of funny that the amount of money that they were able to find out of nowhere, it's like, wow, how bad was the books? I'm just saying. Then, of course, MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor. Bitcoin strong their Bitcoin strategy is strong as it posts Q1 profits, guys. Yo, big time profits they were able to sit there and do. So from the business intelligence platform, MicroStrategy has reiterated its commitment to Bitcoin investment strategy after returning a quarter one profit since its first quarterly profits since 2020. Michael Saylor founded the firm, went back into the green for the first quarter of 2023 with a profit of $94 million, which largely attributes to a one-time income tax benefit of $453.2 million. In addition to the tax benefit, the firm cashed in $121.9 million in revenue, up 22% from this time last year. So they are doing amazing. They are also part of the Russell 2000 here. So Russell 2000 is also doing good. I'm not saying that it's because of Michael Saylor, guys. It's not him. You got ARK Investment. There are a bunch of companies in this basket of investment tools. But yes, they are definitely seeing some profitability here. Oop, I clicked on the wrong one. So according to the first quarter financial review, bam, they are doing amazing. So not like breakneck profits, but you know what? We are right about that point of where MicroStrategy has done its purchasing level at. So as you purchase more Bitcoin at lower levels, your price to price to average Bitcoin drops down. So keep that in mind. So with Bitcoin doing good, MicroStrategy is going to do amazing too. Good for them. He is one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls now out there. A couple of years ago, he purchased more Bitcoin than what was mined. They bought 91,000 Bitcoin. 65% of its holdings today. It's like, oh my Lord. 91,000 Bitcoin, guys. Man, that's life-changing right there, buddies. So, does anybody have any comments or questions before I hop up out of here? We are about at that 1 hour mark, guys. Yo. If you don't have any other comments or questions, certainly drop some FAs in the Chizzity chat. While you're down there, smash that Lizzy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, fellas. And while you're down there, if you're new to the channel, certainly got some Discord link down there. It's free to join, be a part of the community. Love to have all of you awesome FA people there. If you would like to have your rigs hosted over at the Family Mine LLC, certainly get into the Patreon links down below. Get into the pseudo hasher tier. This way you get your VIP access for when we are ready to go, fellas. Yo, I want to make sure everybody is there. So does anybody got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? All you awesome people, what up, dude? Because all you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo, that's right, that's right. Order Peppy wanting some patents. And for everybody that's here, whenever I end it off here, certainly wait until the very end and YouTube suggests the video. Click off on that before you click off of YouTube and go about your day. Bankers own the earth. Take it away, but leave them the power to create money, and with a flick of a pen, they will create enough money to buy it back again. True statement, Kyle Rosa. Very, very true. Unfortunately, it is a very sad truth. Those who have the power to print do. because the power to print corrupts absolutely. And we've seen that over time, history, and centuries. And it'll be something that'll happen time and time again because corrupt people seek power. And once they get power, they use it very badly. So unfortunately, it is the world we live in. But usually when it gets really bad, it resets itself a little bit and we return back to center where there is a little bit of normality. We will see if we do that this round. I'm not going to hold my breath, though. So with that being said, thank you, everybody, for being here and all that good stuff. Definitely smash that Lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Join the Discord, join the Patreon, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace out, stay savage, and may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one.